Welcome to The Drive, your commute-sized podcast powered by the West Des Moines Chamber of Commerce and ITA Group. In the time it takes to get across the metro, you'll gain fresh insights from Iowa's top leaders, CEOs, innovators, and changemakers who are shaping the future of business. I'm your host, Catherine Harrington, and each week we'll explore leadership, loyalty, and the big ideas that keep our region moving forward. Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Drive podcast with the West Des Moines Chamber of Commerce and ITA Group. Today, we have Rick Tollakson, the CEO of Hubbell Realty, and a new President's Council member with the West Des Moines Chamber. So we're so excited to have you here, Rick.
Great to be here, Catherine.
Thank you so much for this. I'm so excited for our conversation. We've known each other for many, many years.
Yeah,
so
I always tell people we did triathlons together.
Yes, we
so
did.
I said, looking at me, that's a long time ago.
Oh, Mark, stop that. Oh, my God, we sure did. Those were the days. I love that. Well, tell us, for those maybe two listeners or viewers that don't know about Hubbell, maybe two, maybe one, tell us about Hubbell Realty.
Well, we're a 170-year-old company, still owned by the Hubbell family. But a lot of people don't realize the Hubbell family is fifth and sixth generation on my board. Most of them do not have the last name Hubbell. Okay, most of them do not live in Central Iowa, but they still feel strongly about the company, and they still invest in a lot of our projects.
That's amazing. I didn't even know that. That's incredible.
The company has 18 different operating divisions. Most of them they're familiar with, like Hubbell Homes, but we also have Embark, a custom home building division, Origin Homes, Rural Iowa, Build in Your Lot division, Eden Crest, senior assisted living and memory care, Indigo Living, which is our apartment management company, because we built between 5,000 and 10,000 houses in the Central Iowa, over 10,000 apartments in Central Iowa. We have 640 units of assisted living. We've developed thousands of lots in Central Iowa. So we do a lot of different things.
Do you have a stat that your team knows of, that how many buildings and how many apartments in Central Iowa or houses is a Hubbell apartment or building? Is it like 60% or something?
Well,
it sounds like it could be a lot.
Well, once again, they counted apartments at one time because they wanted to get over that 10,000 mark of how many they developed. Houses, we've never really counted. I kind of do the math, and I know it's somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000, but I know that's a broad range. I just haven't, we do roughly 250 to 300 homes a year. So
that's incredible.
In that one division, and then we still have two other divisions.
Well, we're in a housing crisis, so thank you for helping find, housing for folks. I love that. And how many employees do you have around?
We were talking about earlier. I don't really keep count. It's somewhere around 900 employees.
That's amazing. That's incredible. That's incredible growth. So all this growth that you've had, and how long have you been there at Hubbell?
I've been at Hubbell over 41 years.
For over 41 years?
Yeah, a little over 21 years as the CEO.
Okay, and what did you do 41 years ago? I'm just curious.
I came to town to build the Hub Tower and Kaleidoscope at the Hub. And I tell people, you've been here a long time when they start tearing down the buildings you developed. And they have torn down the East Block of the Kaleidoscope to make way for a high-rise apartment complex.
Oh my gosh! So that's what brought you to town.
That's what brought me to town. I was really a construction guy, and I really didn't think I would probably stick around Des Moines all that long. I'm not from Des Moines, and I thought I'd just go on and keep building high rises throughout my career, and that's not what happened.
And where are you from originally then?
I grew up in Hampton, Iowa, over by Mason City. Okay,
got you. And a trick question: how many times have you been featured on the cover of the Des Moines Business Record?
Oh, I don't know, a couple times maybe.
Many. I think it's been at least 10, right, over the years?
I doubt if it's been that
many.
Oh,
my gosh. Well, okay, so of all of the great growth that you've had over the years, what are you most proud of, if you had like one thing that you could say?
Well, usually divided into two categories. One, we're very proud of the projects we've done. Yeah. And we've done some very large projects that we're known for, like Gray Station and Bridge District and Lakeview Medical Park and a variety, Copper Creek, a residential community, and the golf course. But probably our extreme builds is what I'm most proud of. We've done 6 extreme builds.
Wow.
And, that's something where we go and build something for a not-for-profit, usually in a week or approximately a week.
Oh, my gosh. Well, that's a lot of people that are doing that. How many people does it take to do an extreme build?
I've never really counted. It's several hundred.
Hundreds, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. So you've seen a lot of development and growth in Iowa over the years, central Iowa. What is one business or trend that you think most will impact Iowa's development landscape over the years in the future?
Our biggest trend that we have to keep focusing on is workforce attraction, population growth.
Yeah.
I heard Tiffany talk about trying to make our region 1 million.
Yes.
Okay, and there's
March
an
to
article in
1
the paper today about it, and we need, it's why I got involved in ICON early on, that Water Trails project, is we have to make our state more inviting. We have to do more and more amenities to attract that younger workforce and to keep the older workforce. People like me are going to retire, keep us engaged in the community. And that takes a lot of work from everybody. And that's a trend that, has been happening, is going to have to probably even more effort into it.
So tonight is the big formal flannel event for the Great Outdoors Foundation.
Wild Prairie Showdown.
Wild
tonight.
Prairie Showdown. So I will be putting on my formal flannel after our podcast today. So
will I.
I love that. So I know workforce is critical, building the trades. How are you involved in that workforce to help build all of these?
Well, we've been very involved with the trades, and our team has really been involved. So I helped initially provide, along with Bill Furman of Mid-America, at the time was with Mid-America Energy, we helped put together the original funding for the project on Central Campus.
Okay.
Skilled trades. The Home Builders Association has taken a bigger role in that.
Good.
They've expanded it to, I think it's called Build Your Future. And, I think they have 7,000 students this past year attend that 2 or 3 day event.
Wow.
Down at the fairgrounds.
Oh, that's huge. I love that. That's really huge. Well, you're so critical. You're part of so much of the fabric and ecosystem of Central Iowa. You mentioned the ICON, Water Trails, which is talent attraction, retention of everybody. I read in Axios this morning, the brain drain in Iowa. It's real, right?
It's real.
It's real. How do we? So, you're really helping to solve that issue.
We're trying hard.
So, where are we with the ICON? This was not an original line of questioning, but where are we with the ICON? How much more money is needed to make that dream a reality? I know it's...
We really don't know. Most of the focus has been in the downtown projects, although, you can talk to Paula Deerenfield. Johnson has really, they've done two launch locations. They have a third one that they're getting ready to start. They've come a long way with theirs, and so have other communities like Urbandale, Clive, even Bondurant has gotten some funding from ICON.
Yeah.
But the two downtown projects, next year they'll open up the one over, what's the name of it on the south side over there by, I should know the name.
Is it Bird?
It's going to be called Principal Point.
Principal Point, that's right. That's
okay,
right.
So that's going to be the first one that opens up next year. That'll have a wave shaper. Got to get some surfers involved because get them out there and start surfing those waves. And then probably about a year later, we'll have the one on Fleur Drive done. And that'll start construction. It's basically started construction now.
Nice.
Now the big one, by the Women of Achievement Bridge, that large dam. Okay, that's the one. We got it. We don't really know what it's going to cost. The design has morphed a few times as we get more and more information. Okay. So that will cost more than the other two combined.
Okay. Well, that's going to be a neat piece, though. That's going to be incredible for our region. I love it. Well, so you're a leader. You think big. Obviously, you think way beyond Hubbell. You think about the community. You think about the whole entire state of Iowa, if not the Midwest. So how do you see the next generation of leaders continuing to think big like you do, Rick, and they're being invested in their communities?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things they're going to have to work harder on is a lot more nationals companies come into our marketplace. Yeah. They tend to have managers, leadership that comes and go more frequently. They're not as vested in the community. Yeah. For those of us who are vested in this community that live here and have lived here most of our careers or all of our careers, they're going to have to work that much harder to make things happen. For me, I've gotten a lot of my what I call entrepreneurial ideas. I belong to the National Association of Home Builders. I'm very involved involved in what we call a Builder 20 group, 20 builders around the country. Urban Land Institute, I'm part of a CDC Community Development Product Council on master planned communities. I belong to NAOP Commercial Development. I have a forum there and a CEO collaborative forum. I see projects are all over the United States.
Cool.
And usually you bring those ideas back. I haven't had too many ideas start in Des Moines, but I've brought a whole lot of ideas that started someplace else and made them happen in Des Moines.
I love that. That's so neat. I love that. So some people, I think most people know you're retiring. What's your retirement date?
March 27th next year.
March 27th. Okay. So you have been an incredible leader. You're so well known and admired. How would you describe your leadership philosophy?
Well, as you know, I have a book coming out talking about it. It's called 8 to Great. And so that really is, when I took over, Jim Hubbell asked me to articulate my vision for the company. Okay, and I came up with what I call 8 principles that I think are important and have been important for our company. Yeah. And that's why I wrote the book about it.
Can you give us a highlight and a little summary?
Real quick, I'll just go through, one,
Love it.
Associates who have passion to do and be their best, entrepreneurial spirit, because remember, that's why I'm still here, is because of all the entrepreneurial ideas we've had. 3, an engineering mindset of process improvement. I'm an engineer, always trying to make things better. 4, enrich the quality of life in our communities. That's our mission statement. 5, accuracy and speed. Measure twice, cut once.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Good one.
Big in the construction world, for sure. Hubbell raving fans, both internal and external raving fans.
Oh, yeah.
Teamwork, which, I admit, my background in sports, I was a wrestler and not a major basketball player or football player. Wasn't on the team side. So teamwork is something I knew we had to work on, and they do work on all the time. And number 8 is to have fun.
Oh.
Which, by the way, is the only one that if I ask after doing this for 21 years, if anybody can recite all 8, they all say I can do number 8 to have fun. They all like to have fun.
Well, that's amazing. That's incredible. Well, I can't wait until the book comes out. It's released on November 4.
Right.
Okay. I have mine pre-ordered, so I'll be watching the mail.
And we have a launch party November 3rd, which is kind of what you do when you announce books. And
okay, and it's anywhere books are sold, Amazon, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah.
Okay. Love of Love. Okay, that's incredible. I can't wait for that to come out. Then you'll be on the speaker circuit series probably, right?
I don't know that there's going to be that many speeches, but you never know. We'll see what happens.
That's what I picture. Oh, my gosh. So you have a legacy, right? What do you hope people will remember most about Rick Tollakson and your legacy?
Once again, I hope they think back on the contributions we've made to the community. Yeah. Again, Icon Water Trails and this extreme builds in the organizations from Easter Seals Camp Sunnyside, On With Life, most recently Ronald McDonald House, Anawim. These are all organizations that we helped really, make a mark on and change their trajectory.
That's incredible. I love that. Okay, what has been one of your most rewarding or challenging leadership lessons?
Well, probably the challenging one, one of those principles is entrepreneurship. And, a lot of people don't want to talk about them, but a lot of entrepreneurship involves failure. Okay?
Yeah.
So a lot of people probably don't know that we were down in Florida, in Vero Beach, Florida. I had partnered with a home builder. All we were going to do was buy lots, and he was going to build on them, and we were going to partner.
Okay.
And then he went out of business.
Oh, ouch.
So we started Hubbell Homes of Florida and finished the project and built it out. I would not say that was one of those success things you're going to mark in the column, because we're not there anymore. Florida was not kind to us, but we bought those lots in 2007. As you know, 2008 was kind of a tough time.
Yeah,
and so I can do a lot of them. We had a toy store in the Kaleidoscope.
Really?
We moved it to Cobblestone Market in Urbandale. Okay, that did not work out. We really aren't in the toy store business. We were just trying to fill some
had a
vacancies.
toy store?
Yeah, a toy store. We had a collegiate wear store.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
We've owned a couple of golf courses. We still own one, Woodland Hills, South Ankeny. We owned Copper Creek for quite a while.
Interesting. So you've tried a lot of things over the years.
Tried a lot of different things over the years.
Yeah. Some stuck and some did not.
Right.
I didn't know you had a toy store. That's so interesting.
Yeah. At the time, remember I had some spaces in the Kaleidoscope that had been vacant since I built it in 1985. 10 years later, I'm still looking at it and say, okay, we got to do something. And so you get everybody brainstorm, and, we did a collegiate sportswear. That actually went pretty well.
Okay.
The toy store, so-so. And for a short period of time, we were 100% occupied in the Kaleidoscope.
Wow.
Which was a major.
That's incredible.
So, it worked in the short term. Long term, we're not really a retailer, and that's not our business. And we didn't need to stay in that.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. So you've got a huge future ahead. You wrote a book. It's releasing soon. What does the next 5 to 10 years look like for you?
Well, I'm the traditional retiree, and just came back from a 3-week trip in Africa, and you're with a lot of retirees, who I thought I traveled quite a bit, and they make me look like a novice. So there's a lot of places I want to go see and do, and I will travel as long as my body can hold up and I can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have focused on that, and I'll stay involved in the community, to the extent that I can. But I'm not the CEO anymore, and so I don't have as much of that clout that I would have now.
So will you stay on boards and
I'll
be active
definitely
that way?
stay involved with Icon.
Okay, good.
And
good.
I'll be on the board of directors at Hubbell Realty Company.
Well, tell us about Kyle Gamble and the legacy he is going to be stepping into.
Yeah, Kyle's been here 32 years. Yeah. So he started his career at Hubbell in brokerage, and he's been with us ever since. I've been with him the whole time, and he's utilizing the same 8 to Great culture that I developed. He's going to continue it. He will tweak it. He will make it his own. So that philosophy will continue. He's excited. He's going to add a whole lot new, younger energy to the company, and that's great.
I love that. I'm so excited for you all. Okay, what the fun question here? What's one word your team would use to describe you? One word.
Yeah. As I said, I kind of went through these questions, and I asked one of our associates, what would be that one word? And she didn't know what it would be. Purposeful, aggressive. I get a lot of those words thrown at me, just because I think more so of the business we're in, and I'm a get it done kind of guy.
You are. You speak like that too. I feel like I've seen you on panels over the years, and we're always excited to see what Rick is going to say, because you don't pussyfoot around.
I don't really hold back.
You don't really hold back.
No, it's just this is my thoughts, and I'll get it out there.
Which we love that about you. Yeah. Honestly, Rick, we love that about you. Okay, this is a regular segment we have on the Drive podcast, because it's about being driven, and also you can listen to this on your drive to and from work. So, okay, commute confessions. What is one unexpected habit or ritual that fuels your success?
Well, I get up every morning and I read the Des Moines Register, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, and the New York Times.
How long does that take?
It probably takes me an hour or so in the morning to go through all those.
Yeah. Do you do printed or digital copies?
I do digital.
Okay, digital.
Everything digital.
Okay.
I don't, but I do the print edition of digital for the most part.
Okay.
New York Times doesn't really have one anymore. They used to, but everybody else does.
Wow. You're well-rounded. That's amazing.
So I do that a lot. And, as I said, I'm involved in a lot of outside organizations, and that's where I get a lot of my, you're challenged by other people and other parts of the country on ideas they have and what has made them successful.
So what motivates you? How do you get up in the morning and do all these amazing things that you do?
I just get excited about making our company better and our community better.
Amazing.
I know it sounds kind of weird, but that's what does it.
Sounds amazing.
I used to think that I was just motivated by money, and then I realized, no, that definitely is not it. Mm-hmm. Okay, that is not a truly top motivating factor for me.
I love that. So flashing fast forward, give us your prediction of what you think leadership, because your book's about leadership, will look like in the next 10 years. Will it change? Will it morph?
Well, it's going to have to morph as they get into, everybody's talking about AI and trying to figure out how AI is going to impact. But I think they're going to, with the generations in our workforce today, they're going to have to be much more focused on the workforce, keeping them engaged, keeping them excited about doing. Turnover is going to continue to be a concern because, if we can get somebody for a couple of years, then oftentimes they're just ready to do something different. And, that's got to be carabiner calculation. How can we keep them energized and inspired? And I think even more so, when I started out, that wasn't a concern. Nobody really worried about whether I was motivated or not.
That's so true.
But in today's world, we are very concerned about it.
Isn't that interesting how things have changed
Yes.
very, very much? The workforce has changed. So how are you all using AI? You mentioned AI. So how is Hubbell using
We
AI?
primarily use AI. Marketing is in certain departments. Marketing is a big use of AI.
Okay.
But we have a number of software platforms, and we work with those companies, and they're utilizing more and more AI to make them more efficient.
Yeah.
We also, process improvement's big in our company. We have 2 process improvement people full time.
Wow.
That's all
Really?
they work on is processes.
Really?
And AI is a big part of it, of making
That's
them
cool.
our processes better, because the processes usually involve multiple teams, multiple departments.
Yeah. And so process improvement people, so they look at like what's going on across departments, in departments.
Yes.
They tweak things, make things more efficient and interesting.
You got to define the process first,
Yeah.
which takes enough time, and then you start working on
Cool.
developing, what is
Yeah.
the process? How can we make it more efficient? And
that.
then you have to review it, because people tend to want to go back to what they were doing before,
Sure,
even
sure.
though they all bought into this is the new process. And you got to keep going with it, and you got to keep, because it'll keep changing. Technology alone is one of the variables that makes it change.
Yeah.
You're changing people, makes your processes change.
Oh my gosh, that's really neat. That's a really neat idea. Okay, we're on the drive.
Yes.
What was your first car that you had?
First car I talk about, I had a Mercury Cyclone GT.
Whoa.
So most people don't know what a Mercury Cyclone GT is.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
What's a Cyclone? Because you're an Iowa State fan. So.
Ford Torino. Ford Torino would be the Ford comparable car to a Cyclone GT.
Oh, what color? What color
Red.
was it? Red.
Yeah,
Did
kind
you
of
get
red-orange.
Did you get any speeding tickets?
Of course. Yeah. It was a fast car.
It's so funny. I love it. I had a red car too, my very first car, and I got so many speeding tickets. Tiny little Toyota MR2.
Yeah.
And it was just, the police loved the red and the little car, and I got so many speeding tickets.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah.
I'm in the process of buying a new sports car, so I haven't had one for years. And Rachel says it's called Pull Me Over Red.
Oh, no.
I said, of course you got to have a red sports car.
Well, we have a new Porsche dealership in town.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, they're a chamber member. Woo, woo, woo.
Good.
All right. So, in closing, as you reflect on your career, Rick, what's one piece of advice you'd like to leave for emerging leaders who are listening or watching today?
Yeah, one piece of advice that I always think about that Jim Hubbell told me, he says, Rick, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Oh, wow.
And when it comes down to projects, he would always look at me and say, we got to get this thing figured out. And then after I figure it out, he goes, I'm not sure I wanted you to figure it out. Maybe we were better off not doing it. And so that's one of the things I think leaders need to think about. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
And really think about what you should be doing.
Yeah. And how do you evaluate that then? Like, because we're all tempted to do things we can do.
Yes,
we
are. And, you just have to keep that in perspective as you move forward, especially when you're a developer and, you're looking at all kinds of different projects and, even home building, house plans and amenities and, what do you think is going to attract? You can do that.
Oh, my
But
gosh.
more likely in the development world, when, should you do this project just because you can? Or does it really make sense, and is it going to give you the returns that you need to have?
Oh, my gosh. I love it. Well, Rick, this has been a delight. We could talk for hours and
Sure we
hours and
could.
hours. And so we need to have you back on, especially after the book
Sure.
releases.
That'd
and
be
to
great.
hear about your experience and you on the speaker circuit. So I just picture that for you on the
Okay.
big stage. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Rick Tollakson, you're a gem. You're a joy. We love you so much.
Thanks,
and
Catherine.
thank you for being on the drive. So
You bet.
Thank you all for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode. So thank you so much. The Drive, fast, fresh, and full of ideas for the leaders of today and tomorrow.